This is a pig spawner in vanilla survival Minecraft. If you enter this seed into your world generation settings, you can load the world, go to these specific coordinates, and find a quintuple pig spawner. But how? Why does this even exist? What sort of a glitch in the world generation generate a block that can't exist in survival? And not one, but 5 pig spawners. Well, in Minecraft's world generation, every Minecraft world starts with a seed that generates a world of stone, then grass, then caves and trees, and finally structures. Only a few structures in the game generate spawners. Obviously, none generate pig spawners, but those structures aren't really important. The structure that is important is the buried treasure. A few times on the Minecraft Seeds subreddit, I saw posts claiming to have a pig spawner in a dungeon in their survivor world. But this isn't a real pig spawner. But what happens here is interesting. A chest generates on a spawner and replaces all of the data from that spawner with the data from the chest. The game gets a little bit confused and makes it look like a pig spawner, but it's just a chest. So if we removed the data instead of replacing it, then we would get a pig spawner. And that's where the buried treasure comes in. Now the buried treasures are supposed to be buried, but with Minecraft's world generation, there's no way to be sure of that. So when the buried treasure generates, it fills all of the air blocks around it with the block that it replaced, guaranteeing it to be covered. But if the block that it replaced was, say, a spawner, then it would generate more pig spawners surrounding the chest, getting rid of the spawner's data and making pig spawners. Only problem is, no spawners can actually generate that high in the world, and even if it did, the buried treasure generates before all other structures. Well, almost all of them. Because mineshafts are so similar to caves, the game actually generates the layout of the mineshafts at the same time as the caves and generates the rest during the structures phase. In order for this to work, it has to generate before all of the other structures, including the buried treasure. Mineshafts also conveniently have a variant in a mesa biome where they can spawn high in the world. So if you have a mesa biome mineshaft with a spawner generating directly on the location of a buried treasure with no cobwebs in the way and with grass blocks near it, then you will get 5 working pig spawners, and then you can get infinite bacon, or whatever you want to do with that, I guess. Why does this seed matter? Well, in Minecraft, your seed is something you choose before you start a world, and it can make things more interesting, like having a cool mountain right at your spawn, or an ocean, or maybe a structure to start the game off. And these are things that you can do that will change your Minecraft experience, and you can use it to make it more interesting than whatever your randomly generated seed would be. And this just really shows that, because if you can choose a world where there's a pig spawner, a block that doesn't exist, you could use that to change your experience, or maybe build the whole world around that. And that's something you could never do with a randomly generated world. Here's the farms I built. There's 3 of them. They're all really efficient. This one makes it so that they spawn and then the water pushes them off. It's really simple. The next one makes it doesn't actually work. The pistons on the side need to be replaced with double piston extenders, but then it would work. It's big spawn and then they get pushed into the cracks. And then the last one is probably my favorite. You just stand in the middle holding a carrot, and then all the pigs just walk to their death. All credit for this video goes to the finder of this seed, Andrew. You can find the seed and coordinates in his video in the description. Also, before we leave, only a small percentage